download a Kobo Collect. It's a mobile application. I want you to download Kobo Collect in your Android device, either a phone or a tablet. Download that. Also, download ODK Collect, still on the same device, because I want to show you on how you operate both. I want to see how you can connect the Kobo app and also the ODK app. So make sure you have both of those devices in those applications in your device. Now, immediately you download, let's say, ODK into your phone. So like you can see, the display there is my screen. So these are the several applications that I have on my screen. So basically, I want to connect now my server. I'll go to the ODK, and this is how ODK works. So with ODK, we need now to connect the server. I'll come to this part you're seeing here at the corner. If you look at this side at the corner, if you click there, you'll see there's a provision of several items. So let's start with the general setting. I'll come to this part of general setting, and then server. At the type, so if I click where you're seeing type, go and select ODK, or if it's ODK, you're good to go. So make sure the type is ODK. Come to this second part of URL, and if you click there, you will see a lot of URL depending with the server. So all you need to write there, just write kc.humanitarianresponse.info. As you can see on the screen, kc.humanitarianresponse.info. Make sure exactly what you're seeing on your screen at the moment is what it should be displayed in your mobile phone. And then come to username. Now you can put your username there, Collins19. I think that was my username. Let me just confirm. Let me confirm on my username before we proceed. Kobo. All lockers. Make sure the username that you enter, it should be the exact username that you use to log into that server. On the aspect of password, I think I forgot my password, so let me try and see if I can be able to locate. Okay, now I understand I know the password of my username. So let me just key in the research one. There you go. So as you can see, I've already keyed in the username and password. Now the next thing I need to go is now to access the form. So I'll go to accessing the form. So just click back. Just click back again. So to go up to this interface. And the first thing you need to do, you will now go to the option of get a blank form. So there's an option here of get a blank form. if you go to the option of get a blank form, this is where now your application will try and connect the server that is there. And as you can see, these are the forms, the different forms that are in my server. And the form that I want is this one, which is called Need Assessment Survey Garissa. So one thing you need to learn here is you can have as many tools as you want. Okay, so there are many tools in that server. So, and you will always also these servers act as it's a storage actually. So you don't have to delete your forms after maybe a certain survey. So in this case, make sure you choose the relevant one. So in this case, I'll deselect the rest and then go for the option of assessment, the one which is remaining. And then I will go for the so say get selected. I'll click on the option of get selected. And then immediately I click on get selected. You will see that it says download results. Need assessment Garissa 2021 is successful. So I'll click OK. I will click OK. And then I will now go to the option of fill a blank form.
Excuse me, Judge. Should I deploy the form first?
Let's understand first. Oh, so there's on the server.
Yeah.
I think that's a good one. Yes. So I think that you must deploy your form. So make sure the form has been deployed.
Hi, George.
Yes, Jackson.
Sorry if I'm misplaced totally, but did we work with ODK or did we work with Kobo Collect? Because in that case, the server is the Kobo one. No, I'm not so sure.
Okay. So what happened is the choice of the server we're using is Kobo, but now the application that you're going to use, we will use both or any, because that's one of the advantages of this Kobo server. Is because ODK app can be able to access, even Kobo app can also be able to access.
Okay.
Good. So for those who had not deployed their form, so you'll go to the server. Make sure you go to the server. And then on your form, when you are saving your form, you will see that there's an option of save. And then there's also an option of deploy. So you'll only see your forms if you have deployed. Okay. Now, I believe by now you have been able to get a blank form. So I say to get a blank form, just click on the option get a blank form. Go and select among the listed forms that you will see there. Select the one that you've been using. Like in my case, I've already selected that one. Need assessment Garissa 2021. And then you say get selected. Once you're told successful, then it means now you have managed to download.
Mine's deployment has an error. Unable to deploy.
Try again. Make sure the internet is okay. Make sure your internet is okay.
Oh, can't. Let me try another one.
Any other person facing challenges? Okay, good. So if there's no any other challenges apart from just saving, so in case of saving challenges, just your network maybe.
Excuse me.
Yes.
I can't see mine after connecting with the server to the phone.
Did you go to the option of get a blank form?
Yeah, I've gone there.
So get a blank form. So what happened once you click on get a blank form?
I'm not seeing I'm not seeing anything.
But it doesn't give you an error. Okay, you need to help me here so that I can guide you.
Yeah, I'm not getting any error.
Okay, have you deployed? Go to your server and then make sure that form is deployed.
I've done that.
Because now I cannot understand if you're not seeing anything. So if you say get a blank form, either when this thing loaded, it tells you there's an error or you should be seeing some forms. If you're not seeing any form, then it means you have not deployed. Unless there's an
I've
error.
deployed. In fact, it's giving me an option of redeploying because already I've deployed.
Yes, that is perfect. Now, have you keyed in the username and password?
In my phone, I've done that.
Yes, perfect. Also, the URL?
Yeah, I've done that.
Good. And then when you come now and say get a blank form, does it load? Is there something that loads?
Nothing is appearing, although I'm using Kobo. I'm not using the ODK.
Okay, because okay, now I don't know how I'll guide you with that one. Anyway, let me just finish on this one and then maybe now I can be able to see some special case like yours, because the next one also will be connecting Kobo. Okay. Now, if you come and say get a blank form and you have received your form, okay? So if you get selected, the next thing I said is what? You go to the option of fill a blank form. Fill a blank form. So what will happen is your research assistant or the person who's going to the field, all they do is now, once you have, now it's up to you as the data manager or the analyst to even key in that part of username and password for these respective forms. Okay, so it's not like, okay, I will not encourage that maybe you give them those passwords. So make sure maybe in a real situation, you can now be maybe there when you're conducting your training, be the one who key in that username and password. Okay, and then also make sure you download for them that form, or you can now demonstrate on how they can download that form. Why am I saying at least explain to them how to download that form? Because maybe you can make changes somewhere and these guys are already on the field, and if you make changes in your server, for them to have that kind of questionnaire again, they have to download a new form. So it's good when they have a knowledge of how to download or how to get a blank form. Now, what your research assistant will do now, they will be coming here to the option of fill a blank form, and immediately they click on fill a blank form, they can select now the need assessment. And as you can see, I have now the first question was interviewer's name. So maybe I'll select there George. And then I go next one. The next one is a note. Remember we said a note, somebody is not supposed to respond to that. So it says introduction. This note can be read loud. That's just an instruction. And then it says what? Always present yourself and TDH, the aid agency. Now ask if your respondent have an approximate of 40 minutes to spare and answer a catalog of questions. The answers will be used to produce a report. So this one is basically the introduction part. If I go now to the next one, you will ask the respondent, are you willing to participate now in the survey? And remember we said if they say yes, then that is when they're supposed to see the next question. And if they say no, it is supposed to take them at the end of a survey. So you see here, if somebody said yes, now they can see other questions. If somebody said no, you realize now it takes them now at the end of the survey, whereby now they will be able to save the form. So they can save the form. Okay. And if they save that form, the next thing they're supposed to do is what? Is come here and say send finalized form. So if you click on send finalized form, you can select all the form, and then send selected. Okay, of course, this one is a different data set. So this one is a different form. So you can see that, just a minute. Good. So you can see the form has already been sent. Okay. And if they want to view the forms that are, so there's also an option that says what? View send form. So if somebody wants to view all the forms that they have sent, if they click there, you can be able to see that, yes, there's this form called need assessment, which has been sent. Now, that is how this interface will look, will look like. So maybe for the person who's willing to continue with the survey, once you go to the option of fill a blank form, come to need assessment survey Garissa. I can still say George. If I go next, I'll read out the note. And then if I go to the consent, are you willing to participate in this survey? Then I'll click on yes. If I go to the next one, I can see there's a question now, urban, semi-urban. So maybe somebody can select urban. Male, in terms of years. This one, maybe somebody says there's 10 of them in a household. Number of children, maybe 0. There you can say 2 maybe. And then this one is now the question which had some logic or some specify. So if somebody say there are teachers and also they are religious leader, it can still work. You can see that somebody has a chance to select more than one. For the option of other, you'll see that if other is going to be mentioned, so without selecting other, if I go to the next question, you see it gives me a different question. But in an event whereby other has been selected, you realize that when I say next, it takes me to specify. Okay, which now tells me if this person has another profession that is not listed here, then that is when the option other is selected. And once other is selected, there's a platform for specify. That means they're supposed now to write here, maybe they are also driver or something. If you go next, take you to the next question. Are there any humanitarian organization? If somebody say yes, that is when they will see the option of sector. Which sector are these humanitarian organizations working? And if somebody say no, that option of which sector, it's not supposed to happen. So you see, like now in my case, I need to make sure that there's some skip logic here. So that when somebody says there are no humanitarian organization working in their area, the next question should not ask them which sector are these humanitarian organization. So that is something that I need to go and now fix on my server. Okay, and if I do that, as you can see, my skip logic is working. So the next thing which maybe you're supposed to have is now the GPS coordinates. So you can go to the server and maybe add the part of GPS coordinates. And as I think you were told on Saturday, GPS coordinates should well placed at the end of a survey. So you can add a question and then you say points, and then GPS coordinates should now be at the end of that survey. So if you click on save form and exit, you will again go back to where you're seeing either you select a new form to start filling, or now you go back to either delete. Now again, let's come now to the phone so that you see what are some of the ways that you can control what your research assistant can do. So again, you might decide to not to give your research assistant a chance to delete a saved form. So maybe you don't want them to delete a saved form. Maybe you just want them to do 3 things. Either they get a blank form, you might decide to constrain them. Either they just had a chance of getting a blank form, send that finalized form, and fill a blank form, for instance, if those are the only thing you want them to see. So if you want to regulate, you can just go back again to the settings. So there's some 3 dots you're seeing at the top right corner of your server, sorry, of your phone. So where you see general setting, so go to general setting, and then instead of saying a server, now go to the option of form management. There's a provision for form management. And on the form management, if you scroll somewhere down, there's images, there's an option of, so you can see there's a lot of things. So let's start with there's an option of blank form update mode. We have automatic update frequency, automatic download. It has not been checked. There's also option of hide all form version. So if you don't want the old version of your forms to be displayed, uncheck that part. Okay. And then there's in terms of the option for now the media, so there's what you call form filling. So default to finalize, there's constraint processing, high resolution videos. So if you want high resolution videos, they are all there. And then also if you use an external application for audio recording. So again, remember there was that part of, I think I'll be discussing later on, other remaining option of coding a questionnaire. So we talk about things like now audio, video, and so forth. Now, for form management, I think we will not be using that one for now. If you want to adjust the items, so just go back, instead of general setting, go to admin setting. And as you can see on, I don't know if that's the right password. Perfect. Yes, so you can even set password. So under admin settings, you will see that you have a chance to interact with that part as an admin, which means you also have an option of general settings still under admin setting. So one thing, for admin setting to work, you can set password. Are you seeing there's that option of admin password? So if you go to the option of admin password, it means what? It means your research assistant will not be able to access this part of admin setting. Okay, so set a password, assuming you are now the admin of now the survey. So go and set a password, and that password is admin, who's the only person who understands that. And then if you go to general setting, again, you will see exactly the same items as what was in the normal general setting. So if you come here to form management, okay, you're seeing the same item, just like the way it was under general setting, but this time, again, you are working at a platform whereby you are the admin. Now, if you want to reset application, there's that option down there. That is majorly a preserve of the admin. And then if you come down here, there's now the option of main menu settings. So this is what I was talking about. This is where now you can restrict your research assistant on what they can be able to see. So if I click there, now I can decide these people, they're not supposed to see the option of QR code configuration. I can say,
Look.
yes.
Sorry, I don't know whether you are moving with us on your screen because I'm just seeing saved. Save form and exit in your screen, your mobile screen. I don't know whether you are
Oh,
the only
you have
person
not.
who's not seeing your screen.
Okay. If you're not seeing my screen, then I guess let me just leave and then join. Confirm now if you can be able to see my screen.
Yes, it's okay now.
Okay, good. I guess now I have no choice but to start over what I was explaining. So these are I said the top corner where you should go, and you'll be able to see general setting and admin setting. So if you go to admin to general setting, you will see there's a setting for server, username, maps, form management, and so forth. If you come to this option of form management, you will see here there's some list of items. Among this list of items, there is no any item which focuses on regulating the first interface. So in general setting, this is what you're seeing. Okay, and I think I had already explained a few things about this part. If I go now to the second part, I click at the right corner, and then I go to admin setting. You'll see, of course, for my case, I already have a password. So you can also create a password so that every time you don't just make sure everyone is accessing this admin setting. If you look at admin setting again, I also have a chance to see what general setting up here. And if I go there, I will see exactly the same items that were just at the admin setting, sorry, the general setting at first. And then if I go to form management, there's something special because under form management with the admin, there's you can see this item exactly as what the general setting was displaying. But again, I can decide to regulate what my research assistant will be seeing on this phone. So if I come down here, as you can see, there's an option of main menu setting. So this one, remember, is an interface where it's an admin interface. So if you have set a password, that means not everyone will be accessing this part. So if I don't want them to see the QR code scanner, I can deselect that one. I can say maybe I don't want them to be deleting saved forms. I can also deselect that. I want them to have a chance to get a blank form from the server, which is a good thing. I will leave that to them. I don't want them to view the forms that they have sent. Maybe I can deselect that. So I will deselect the first one. So I want them to either get a blank form and then do what? Send also the finalized form. So if I go back to my main menu, so if I go back, you will see that the items that are displayed there, there are only two. They can either get a blank form from the server, or they can fill a blank form. So that means they have already obtained a questionnaire. Now they can be able to fill that form. And then lastly, they can send finalized form. So this is another way of you regulating your research assistant on what they can be able to do with this application. Okay. So you can continue maybe on admin setting. We look at some of the other settings that are there. 3217. So if I go back to admin setting, Good. So on user setting, these one are things like now the theme. If you want to have, so there's a lot. I think most of these things I'll just leave you to try and interact with them. There's this option of metadata. Now, if you want your form, if you want your server to be collecting some information, like now the what do you call the username of the person using this form, it can collect this SIM IME number, it can collect even the phone number. So all those things you can be able to regulate them using now this platform. So you can see even there's an provision whereby it says, well, delete after send. So if you want that form to be deleted on the respective form, let me use an example. Maybe the type of data you are collecting is very sensitive and maybe confidential. You might decide to make sure that this part of delete after send is activated on the phone for evidence purposes. So maybe if you're dealing with those government kind of work, maybe at an area whereby that phone, if it get into the hands of maybe different people, it might be a problem. So you might say that you delete every form. So once the research assistant has just sent a form to you, then all the forms or all the material are deleted automatically now at the respective phone. So in case that phone gets into the hands of wrong people, you realize that now the form cannot be accessed because it has already been deleted. What else? We have automatic downloads, we have blank form update mode. So these things, I don't want to be explaining all of them. So have a chance to go and look at it at your own free time. And let me take any question now from there. Any question before I go and talk a few things about the server? Before I go back to the server, any question concerning connecting phones?
Yeah, you are talking about the password.
Yes.
When the research assistant downloads the app, and then are you the person who should log in and set the use your account and download the form for them, or log in?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
so you are
yes.
the
So
one.
you're the boss, eh? So if you're the one
Yeah.
in charge,
Yeah.
all you have to do, I would advise that be the one you come here first, you connect this respective phone with the server because you're the one doing this one. Eh? So make sure
Yeah.
you can log in, you give it the username, the password, and so forth, and then you give them back the phone. Also here on admin setting, you can log in with your you get some password on the phone, and then give them now to your assistant. So with them, if you have regulated them like with what you're seeing on my screen, they will never go outside these privileges that you have given them, because you're the boss who has the password.
Okay.
Moses.
Yeah, sorry. I think my network has really messed me. The initial stages, we designed this form using Kobo Collect.
Yes.
But, I mean, we're using Kobo, but we are collecting this data using ODK Collect and not Kobo Collect, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I missed the point whereby how you linked Kobo Collect to ODK Collect, because I thought you only link Kobo Collect. I know it's recorded somewhere, but my internet logged me off. If you mind, maybe 2-3 minutes, you can just repeat it for my sake, please.
Okay. Let me clarify on that. The advantage of Kobo server is that it is compatible with any application. That's why you see every time we teach you the Kobo server. So this server, you can either access it using ODK, or you can access it using Kobo. One problem with ODK as a server, I hope I'll be demoing that to you. If you allow me to share this screen, just a minute, I shared this new screen that I'm having before we proceed. Okay, so if you're seeing my other screen, if you're in a position to see my screen at the moment, you realize that once you write there ODK, you see it's called Open Data Kit, began some blah, 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 a lot of information. But there's a very interesting statement you're seeing here. It says, well, although ODK and ODKX share a long history, they have evolved into separate projects run by separate teams. For that reason, we are retiring the Open Data Kit brand. We are retiring the Open Data Kit brand, and this website is favor of the ones below. Please update your books. In short, they're trying to tell you ODK is no longer there. Why are they saying, or why is ODK no longer? It's actually retired. It's because ODK cannot keep up with the likes of Kobo. It's just like if you recall on the case of Nokia, when technology beats you, you have no choice but to surrender because you cannot survive. Why are they surrendering? It's because they were charging people a lot of money. Previously, they used to charge a lot of money for you to use this platform. And one of the advantages was, I don't know if I can be able to access that information. One of the issues that they had, or the reason why we have not even decided to come up with an ODK server, is because the technical know-how for you to come up with an ODK server is crazy. You had to know either SQL, which is a programming language, or you use some Google engines. Those kind of skills most researchers didn't have. Okay, that's why they said what? Now Kobo came in. So if you look at the infrastructure of Kobo, it's much friendlier for someone. Even you don't actually need to know how to create this server from scratch. Okay, all you need to do is you need a server to start using. So that was the advantage that Kobo provided, and that's why even ODK is no longer existing. So let me go back and now maybe I demonstrate now how to log in with Kobo, because even for Moses, you will appreciate that the procedure is still the same. The interface of even of these two mobile application are still the same. Let me display my screen so that you see these two. So this is the interface for ODK. If I go and open Kobo, just pay attention. As you can see from my screen, exactly the same thing. The only difference between Kobo and ODK is what? Is just the name that you're seeing on top here. ODK Collect. This is Kobo Collect. The version is there. The version is there. There is nothing so far that is different. Okay. I hope you have managed to see both of those. So the same drill. If you want to connect the Kobo app with the server, just go to the top corner. As you can see, the same thing appears. General setting, admin setting. If you go to general setting, this is where everyone is watching, and as you can see, there's an option of server, user map, exactly the same thing that we were seeing on where? On Kobo, on ODK, sorry. On that case, if I go to server, again, you'll see there's an option of type. So this time, instead of type, I think the other time you were seeing where it's written now, Kobo Toolbox, it was ODK. Let me just go to ODK so that I do a comparison. In general, if you go to server, as you can see, this one of type, you're seeing ODK. When I'm using Kobo on type, I'm seeing Kobo. Guys, there's no difference between these two applications. That's what I'm just trying to say here. And I think I don't have to necessarily stress more than what I've done. So the same procedure that you will use to log in into the server using ODK is the same procedure that you will use using the server to log in into Kobo. exactly the same thing. So if you come again to admin settings, everything that I've just taken you through, it's here. If you go to main menu settings, again, that are the options. So I don't even necessarily need to go through. So for Moses, I think you had asked how to log in. Just go to that option, general setting, server. Make sure you key in the URL you're seeing there. It's kc.humanitarianresponse.info. This one. Of course, you can be able to select it from a list. So if you just click there and then go to the drop down, you can just select it from there. And then username and password. Once you do that, you come back and then say what? Get a blank form. The blank form. Now, once the phone now can be able to, now you have already deployed your form at the server. So it means you are in a position to see what? To access the forms. You click on the one that you want to download and go to the option of get selected. So if that is the form you have selected, get selected. If it says successful, the next thing is to go to what? Fill a blank form. I have need assessment there. I think you can now proceed with the server. Now, I think what I've just demonstrated for you is now the environment under which all these forms apply, both Kobo. So I'm sure by now, if you ask what's the difference between Kobo and ODK, I'm sure you have the answer for that. Okay. Let me take any question.
What about the part where you send a form to someone remotely? How are you able to control that?
Sending a form remotely, the one using URL?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, the same rules that you have applied on the, so for, let me just ask the question on sending now using URL. I think maybe you are sending via email or WhatsApp. The thing is, you're sending to a respondent whom I think they already know what is expected of them in this survey, guessing by the level of maybe knowledge and how you obtain them. Because if you already have their emails, then it means that is someone that you can be able to control. So the only way you will do is making sure the skip logic and stuff are okay. And then you will just send them a link, just like the way I'm about to send you a link for this form of buying, or the way I've been doing that. And then once they send, you'll also be receiving their response into your server. So the same rules that applies on the server is what that person will also be subjected to. Let me take Moses, and then I finish with Maureen.
No, sorry, you had answered me.
Okay. Maureen, proceed if you have a question.
You have to get back to me because now I'm not in position to follow you in the phone.
Unless are you okay? How will I go about it? Because unless now maybe you will show me how your screen looks like, or maybe you take a what do you call it? Just a screenshot of your screen and then send to me whatever is happening so that I guide you. Yeah.
I don't know if it will be in order first for me to share my screen so that you look at it and see if it's in order before I go to my phone and give you a screenshot or send you a screenshot.
Because the part I want to see is now your phone. Why you're not in a position to get to access the server.
Okay.
Okay, so if I can see that, I'll be able to guide you. I think that's something maybe you can do after I release the rest. Polycarp.
Yeah, I was trying to send to myself, but I can't see the whatever the requirement for what GPS coordinates.
You okay? I want to understand you. You want to send for yourself, but you're not seeing the GPS.
Yeah, the example we were doing, so I was just doing on my own, and I can't see the GPS.
Have you added a question that asks on GPS?
No.
Okay. Yes. So if you want to see GPS, then I think maybe let me showcase my screen. Let me share my screen, and then at least we go again to the server. So as you can see, this is my server. So if I want to have GPS coordinates collected at the end of my survey, then I'll do what? I will now go to the last question, and then I will say location, and then if I add question, I will add it as a point. So click as a make it a point. That is the GPS coordinates, and then you will save your forms, and then close from the side, and then again redeploy. So every time you make changes to your form, you deploy or redeploy. Good. And then so for if you want a link to share, just copy from down there, whatever you're seeing here, copy. To copy the link to this form. And then again, if you connect your phone to the server, you'll be able to download that file. Any other question or concern about data collection?
Yes, finally, I think I got my answer. There's my question. There's this question I asked last time when we were on that call on Saturday, and I think I was not satisfied with the response.
Yes.
Maybe I would just like to put it over again. When you are doing Likert scale,
yes,
in ODK, like I mean in Kobo Collect, like there's this question whereby rate your knowledge on on this aspect. So someone will read a sentence, then and a rank maybe is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 5 points, but you have to rank them in 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, 1 to 5 by just clicking 1, 2, 3 based on your understanding of the indicator that you are being asked. Is it possible to showcase it in Kobo Collect? Because I remember last time I asked it in that call, I was not answered well.
Okay. Let me see if I'll be able to answer you well. So maybe I say in a scale of 1 to 5, Moses, how satisfied are you with your life?
Yeah.
A question like that.
Yes.
So let me say life satisfaction was the question. Satisfaction. And then now there are two ways of coding it. You can code it like in the form of a Likert scale, whereby you say 1 denotes somebody who's less satisfied with their life, and then 5 denotes somebody who's more satisfied with their life. That is one way of going about it. The second way, if you come here to add question, there's this part of is it called line, or what do you call it? Just a minute, I find it. Line calculate. Okay, what do you call it? Decimal. Is it range? I think it's a yes. I think it's a range or what? Yes, I think it's this one. Huh? There's this one now. The second part is when you go for the option of range. So whereby you can say maybe this scale starts from 1 and then to 5, and then the steps or the gappings that are there maybe is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to 10. Or you can say within a scale of 1 to 10, but the gap is now 2. Okay. Just like sequence, I'm sure this one you can be able to understand. So that means it will be from where? It will be from actually, if you say, so you can say it's 0 or maybe 1. So if you say 1 there, it means the scale will be from 1, 3, 3, 5, 7, and so forth, moving forward like that. But now again, you're the one to decide how this scale or what this scale represent. Again, maybe for something like life satisfaction, you don't have to tell someone to give you in a 10 weight scale. You can just say maybe in a scale of 1 to 5, how upset are you with your government at the moment? Okay. Or in a scale of 1 to 5. 1 to 5 is much more easier. And in terms of steps, don't again put some very huge margin between the one scale to another. So you can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's okay. I don't know if Moses, I'm trying to answer you.
Yeah, I think it's coming out. But now let me assume that we have 3 points. Like, right, you have understanding of this. Already you have talked of satisfaction. There's only 3 or 2. So how are we going to put the next? Where are you going to are you going to type it as part B, as another question of part B, or what?
I don't know. Your network is really not that good. I don't know. Anyone who has had that question, Vizuri, or Moses, maybe you can repeat.
Can I come up?
Yes, I can now hear you.
Oh, sorry. So I'm saying,
yes,
most of these Likert scale comes in. Someone just gives you like 4, 3, or 5 choices to choose. Okay, now you have given us one, which is lifestyle satisfaction. So maybe you want to add some 2. Remember, it's one question. Eh? So how are you going to write it without adding the plus? Because it's usually one question.
Okay, it's one question. Say maybe you have asked someone about the level of satisfaction with life.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, I don't know whether you mind if I share. I have
yes,
a question.
Yes. Yeah. That will be perfect. Share. You can share your screen. Maybe I'll be able to understand better.
Please. So you let me see if I can share.
Okay. Guys, I hope you're also paying attention to this question that Moses is asking. I don't want to be the only one responding, because this one it has nothing to do with ODK. This one is logic. Okay.
I hope nakuja hapo kwa present, si ndio?
Yes, present your screen.
I'm used to Zoom. Okay, fine. Then your entire screen or your window?
Yes, you can say your entire screen. That is much easier.
Okay. You are still sharing. I think you need to end yours.
Okay, sorry, I was using 2 devices. Screen. I'm still sharing.
Let me see.
You can proceed. You're good.
Okay.
If you say share your screen, what are you saying?
If I say share my screen, entire screen, the option of share is not highlighted.
There's an option of present your entire screen.
Yes, your entire screen, when I click it, the share button is not highlighted. It's like maybe you are still presenting. I don't know. Let me try a window. The share button still not highlighted.
Just a minute. I make.
Okay.
I don't know if I've restricted you guys. So try now, because I think here says let's share the screen.
Oh, it's there.
Okay, now you're good. Okay.
So are you seeing the word that I've opened?
Yes, I can see your questionnaire.
Now, look at number 8. Let me look at question number 8. Yeah, something of the sort. Question number 8.
Okay, the question goes, using the following scale to estimate your understanding of the following. Application 5 is an expert. This one, Nani. Okay. Anyone who wants to respond to this one before I give out the answer? Scholar, proceed.
I think this is just a different naming for strongly agree, you know, like the normal Likert scale
Yes.
responses. It's just been named differently, but it's the same.
Thank you so much, Scholar.
Yeah.
What Scholar is trying to tell you, Moses, is stop overthinking. This one is just the normal question of strongly agree to strongly disagree.
Okay.
There's no complication about it. Actually, all you have to do is instead of, let me just now demonstrate maybe how you will go about that one. So this one, you not even go this road. You see, I was really even trying to make things up and more complex. So if I was to add that question, I would say, what's the question? The first attribute.
The first attribute is communication through email.
So, but here it says what? Before there's that introduction statement, what does it say?
Using the following scale to estimate your understanding of the following applications.
Okay, so you see that part, That's what you come and write. Are you see? Okay, am I the one presenting or you?
No, let me stop presenting. Then you can now share. I hope you have seen the hint.
Okay. You'll be guiding me. I have already pictured out the answer.
Okay, let me just stop sharing.
Okay. So what that question? How you go about that question is first the statement is saying what? The one you just read a few minutes ago.
Using the following scale, estimate your understanding of the following applications.
Using the following scale, estimate
your understanding of the following applications.
Of the following application. Okay.
Right.
See that the way I'm putting that the introduction part.
Yes.
And then if I come here to add question, I will make it as a rating question. I'm rating. I click on rating. So the first option, number one, read for me the first.
Communication through email. Communication through email.
Communication through email. You see where I'm writing that?
Right.
Okay. And then the options that are provided there. Number one, what is one?
Number one is no knowledge.
So one is no knowledge. Yeah?
Yes.
No knowledge.
Number two, small extent.
So two is small
extent.
Number
three, moderate extent.
Number three is moderate. Number four,
high extent.
Sorry, high extent.
Number five, expert.
And then number five is expert. Okay, you can now proceed with the second attribute. You write down again here, whichever you have. What is the second attribute?
Browsing through internet.
Browsing.
We can use the two as example.
Internet. So you see, I think you're getting the drill now. So the attribute, we list them here. And then the choices, now that which one is saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah? It's just a way of guiding you on which one should be the first one. Remember, on this one is what we call ordinal measure. So if you interchange that number, it affects the analysis that you're going to get. That's why I think you've been given these things in form of numbers. So this is how you would have handled it, Moses.
Hi, Adams.
Yes, Jackson.
Because I remember we did this sometimes back, but how did the but the structure was not like this. how did you establish a form like this tabular form? Because the other one was, I think, like a bit different.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Maybe just what I've just done is I've just understand the question, and then I came here to add a question, and then the introduction of that question using the following scale. So this part is what I paste as the question. So the introduction part becomes the question, and then when I come and say add a question, I just selected the option rating. Then if I rate, that is what I display. Can be able to add attributes and also add response on the right side.
Oh, okay. I think the previous one was not under rating. It was under something else.
It was range, yeah?
It was range, I think. No, I think. What was it? Okay, Sawa. What was it?
I think it was ranking.
Ranking. The other one was ranking. The other one was ranking. So this is rate. This is what rate?
Rating. Yeah, this one is rating.
Rating. Okay, perfect. So it gives you a tabulation sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, super. That's exciting.
Okay, thank you. I think I got it. This one has been chilling my mind since last week. I can now proceed with my data collections.
You are trying to do analysis with machine learning. No, don't overthink.
No, remember that the last time we were on a call, I asked the same question. Then the guy who was presenting said that it is complicated. You have to use Excel, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Actually, one thing I also noted with this journey of data, if you compose yourself, sometimes even the thing, it doesn't really look, it might look hard, but how to tackle it is the most simple way. As long as you do what you call, I again advise you guys, try to perform what you call scenario analysis. Picture yourself as maybe the person who's responding. How do you want them to respond? Because even this one, even if you decide to say it's a single select question, you can be able to solve this problem. You say just select one. So you treat each attribute as a question. And you say it's a select one. You see? So you'll be solving that problem, but again, it will be a very long way or a long process because again, you treat each attribute as a question on its own. But again, now in my case, I've just opted for rating, and I think I can be able to come up with the correct results. Any request or anything from your end?
So what is the main difference between rating and ranking?
So interface-wise, as you can see, rating is a bit different from ranking. And then rating, Maurice, is just like saying, let me still use the same. I always use this question so much. How satisfied are you with your life? Maybe I ask you that way. So that one is a very relative question, but you can now decide and say, vile naona mimi niko kwa karibu katikati, almost satisfied, but maybe I'm a bit disappointed somewhere kidogo. Okay? So ranking is when maybe you are told to prioritize. Ukiambiwa saizi in your life, give the most priority needs that are indicators of maybe a successful life. Well, utaangalia mtu amekwambia maybe uchague between having a car, having a good health, or having education, and then there's also maybe having maybe a lot of money. Let me just use that word. So you're told choose only 2 of those among those items 4 that I've just listed, which are now priority needs in your life. Mtu akwambia chagua 2 peke yake. So you're not rating, hawajakwambia chagua zote, lakini useme in order of your choice, which one is number 1, number 2, number 3. Okay? So in rating, utasema gari ndo na mimi nikikuwa na gari, that is the number 1 priority. Nikikuwa na good health, that is number 2. So that is what you're doing is rating in a scale of 1 to 5. But ranking now, you are choosing, you have to prioritize. I don't know if I'm confusing you the more. So rating and ranking, I think that's the best I can explain in as far as those 2 are concerned. I think Scholar was also explaining some. Scholar, maybe you can weigh in and then see if Maurice will understand better.
Yeah, it's just to emphasize on what you are saying, that ranking is when you are highlighting your preferences in order of the ones that the first one that you can't really live without, followed by the one you secondly can't live without, a thirdly, and so forth. That is for ranking. You rank from number 1 to such a number, maybe 5 or 10. And rating is you are observing each and every variable and saying on a scale of 1 to 5 how important it is. So it's like it's like rating different dishes. For example, you like pilau, ugali, and fish, but I think I'm complicating this. I think you guys are getting it. Like, yeah, like you're just saying you like ugali on a scale of 1 to 5. You like it like on number 2, and fish you like it number 5, or pilau you like it number 3. But now you're asked, among these 3 dishes, which one is your best in order of preference? So you say, I like fish first, then ugali, then pilau, something like that.
Okay. Maurice, the first one, you can either choose all those dishes, but now again you can decide to say, let me start with fish first. The fish naenda kwa the second one. Evo, you have a chance of you can access all of them, but the second one you don't have to. You say chagua moja or chagua mbili, so you have to decide. Sawa.
Okay.
Any other question?
Not a question, but a request. Please share the recording. I didn't manage to attend the class from the very beginning.
So I'll do that.
Finally,
Judge, and the Saturday's one.
Oh, for Sato, sawa. I'll share both that. Sawa.
Yes, look, as we end the class,
Yeah.
As we end the class, you can just save the recap scale that you have done, then try to deploy. Then you can side chat me and tell you the feedback because of time.
Oh,
Try to just save and deploy because I've done it the same and it's not deploying. But you can just side chat me. I don't know time has elapsed.
Sawa.
Thank you.
So I think this one will be my last, guys. As far as qualitative analysis.
George.
Yes.
Sorry for interrupting you.
No problem.
But I don't know, like I was also having the same thing when I was trying to deploy with the question of ranking that we did. Then I deleted it is when I deployed, because it was bringing for me an error like a $sign and this whatever it's called, what a wavy, whatever. This wavy bracket sign.
With the dollar sign.
Yeah. This $sign error, I don't know what does it mean. Like it was telling me it can't deploy. There's an error still in what, then it's putting that $sign in.
Okay, there is maybe I'm sure maybe you both of you are just having. Actually, the problem you are making is negligence. If you see, like, this form of mine, I've not completed it. Like, if it goes, unaona kama like the first one, if I deploy this first one, it's complete because I already have the attributes, except the last one. You see, these are the last attribute. It's saying enter your question. So I've not I put any question there. If I deploy this question like this, it will not go until either I put a question on this last item or I delete it. Also, same applies to the second one. You see, this one, it has option 1, option 2. So if I attempt to send it without putting now those options, it will give me that error of $sign, the one you are receiving. So make sure you have at least a question, and as also on the option, the items have already been entered, and it will be good to go. Sawa.
Okay.
Should I now go? Any other concern before we call it a day? So penye tumefikia now, I'll say you guys is now try to do your own experiment with that application. So cheza nayo, connect server, angalia GPS, or the GPS iko sawa. Also understand your part ya regulate the field work. Those are some of the questions that actually, if for those guys who are intending to practice or go to interview session, maybe we might not be asked about difference between rating and ranking. Nobody wants to know if you know the difference between rating and ranking. But the question that will come is question that touched on maybe the arrangement of the application, how you can regulate your research assistant. Those are some of the areas that a lot of questions are normally asked. And then maybe the advantages. So you need to understand what are the advantages of Kobo as opposed to maybe ODK and Honor. So those are some of the things that you should be comfortable with. And then again, on the choices of your question, you should also be good. Guys, si tukuwe na usiku mwema kama hakuna swali nyingine. The next tutor who's coming now in for NVivo will be in communication. So maybe tomorrow, basically what we'll just be doing is trying to make sure that our NVivo is okay. Either I'll be the one facilitating that process, or you'll get another teacher, but nonetheless should be communicated. So thank you all for your time, and I wish you all the best as you continue learning, and I hope you will learn all the way to the end.
Thank you.
And George, before you go,
Yes.
I don't know whether I can call you or what. I don't know.
Yes, you can
Because
call.
I can only
call
find you here. You.
Oh, finding me has been a problem.
It has been a very big problem.
Call me immediately after this class before I switch off the phone.
Okay.
Look.
Okay. Any other Moses?
Yes, my Leica scale has worked finally. It's okay now. I've just done it in my phone. It's functional now.
Perfect. I think now you're good to go. Maureen?
Look,
Yes.
I hope unabaki na mimi.
Oh, alafu mmeniita Luke sana. Mimi naitwa George.
Pole kwa hiyo.
Sawa, msiseme mwalimu Luke alikuwa anatufundisha ODK na akuwe kwa shida. Okay, sawa. For those who wish to leave, you can leave. For those who have trouble with any question or any concern, now you can remain behind.